Following the Lakers signing Alex Len, they would appear to be done making moves. I mean, they have a completely full 15-man roster, and all three of their two-way contracts filled with it, so what more room do they have to make here, and do they even have the ability to make another move? Well, yes they actually do, and yes, I actually think they will make another move. Even after signing Alex Len, they have a little bit of room under the second apron and just barely enough to waive somebody, and then sign somebody to replace that player. And whether they waive either Shake Milton or Cam Reddish, I would call them the two candidates for it, and kind of take your pick between them. I'd probably lean towards Shake Milton. Reddish offers them a little bit more defense, and actually quite a bit more defense. In general, probably a little bit more value, and he's been with their team for longer, so they probably will keep him. But again, take your pick. The important part here is who they'll replace them with, and I actually think it's the guy in their current 15-man roster, albeit an extension of their 15-man roster. That being a two-way contract, and the two-way player happens to be Jordan Goodwin. If you have been watching their past 2 games now, Jordan Goodwin's been a big part of it, has definitely been in the rotation, not simply a garbage time player for them, and really has become a permanent member of the rotation going forward as well. However, the problem here is that he is a two-way contract. Not to say that's a problem for his playing time or anything in the immediate future, but if you're not aware, two-way contracts are limited, being limited to 50 total NBA games per season, and are not eligible to compete in the postseason. And well, with the way Jordan Goodwin's playing right now, they definitely want him to be a part of their postseason team, definitely want him to play more than 50 games, and definitely want him to be a part of the rotation going forward and not limited in any way. And well, the only way to get around that would be by adding him to their 15-man roster, which I think they should do, and should really do sooner rather than later. Whether it be waiving Shake Milton or Cam Reddish, I think it would be a necessary and a worthwhile sacrifice for them to make. I mean, talking about offense, Goodwin's been much more productive than either of them lately. Neither of them really been in the rotation, and Goodwin's really shot above them. And then defensively, Goodwin's proven to be a pest on defense, an actual pretty switchable defender, a great pairing with Jared Vanderbilt, 2 great energy guys in the court, and all around a really good addition to the rotation. And with that being said here, we're going to talk about how they can make that move, why it would be worth it, and why Jordan Goodwin could maybe become, and kind of already is the secret weapon of this Lakers bench unit. But before we get too far into it, let's go over our game day picks with Underdog Fantasy. And if you're a new sign-up, you can pick Luka Doncic to have higher than 0.5 points later tonight. So yeah, take advantage of that free pick. But then for my picks, for pick number 1, I got LeBron having higher than 6.5 rebounds. He's had more than that in 5 straight games now and had more than that in their last matchup against Utah, literally the other night, so I think he will again tonight. Then for my second pick, I got Jackson Hayes having higher than 8.5 points. Now playing with LeBron and Luka Doncic, the guy's getting plenty of opportunity, plenty of alley-oops, so I think he will get more of that tonight, and that will lead to higher than 8.5 points. Then for my third pick, I got Rui Hachimura having higher than 0.5 rebounds during the first quarter. With him playing more small ball center for their team, that means him being around the rim more, and therefore more rebound opportunities. Then for my fourth and final pick, I got Brandon Podziemski having higher than 9.5 rebounds and assists. So if you want to follow along with me, or make your own picks, then be sure to check out Underdog Fantasy, and don't forget to use code JSM to get your free pick, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make a deposit. But now getting back to our topic, and again, with Jordan Goodwin, the guy's really shown out for their team lately, playing absolutely great during his team debut against Indiana, and then following that up with a great game the other night against Utah, which he'll again be playing tonight. And in those 2 matchups, the guys put up about 13.5 points per game, and not to mention on 66.7% shooting from the field and 50% shooting from 3. Then to go along with it, a casual 6 rebounds per game as a guard, very impressive, 1 assist per game, only 1 turnover per game, 1 steal per game, all around playing great defense for their team, and simply bringing great energy off the bench for their team too. And talking about that energy, how many guards do you see crashing the offensive glass like Jordan Goodwin, and especially to the frequency that he does? Last night against Utah, or the other night at that, he had 2 offensive rebounds during the first quarter alone, the first being a tip-in at the rim, another one being a really sneaky offensive rebound between both Micah Potter and Walker Kessler, coming out with the ball and taking it away from 2 near 7-footers, and all around very impressive what he's able to do. The relentless pursuit of the ball, especially combined with Jared Vanderbilt again, that's a ton of fun to watch. Those 2 off the bench are absolute pandemonium. Whether you're talking about defense or offensive rebounding, a whole lot to like about them. The energy they play with, the drive they have to get after the ball, and the pressure they put on your opponent, whether again it be on defense or boxing out. That's a lot of fun to watch, and two great guys to have coming off your bench unit. I mean, take a look at this play during the early second quarter of their game against Utah the other night. Somehow Goodwin gets in there and gets a tip back to Rui Hachimura at the free throw line, kind of forcing Walker Kessler to tap it back to him. And despite getting a really good shot attempt, Hachimura misses the shot, and even somehow more bizarre, Goodwin gets another tip in there. Despite John Collins kind of coming down with the rebound, he tips it away from him and gets it back from him, despite being boxed out by a combination of a 7-foot Walker Kessler and a 6'9", 6'10" John Collins, and somehow gets the offensive rebound and put back thereafter. Even with all his teammates going back on defense, not pursuing the ball like him, he doesn't give up on the play, keeps the play alive, not only once but twice, and somehow scores on the play, despite 4 other Utah Jazz players being around him. Simply incredible the effort he plays with, and the fight and wherewithal he has to go after the ball, never giving up on play, and it's very impressive for any player, let alone a 6'3", 6'4" guard out there. And then defensively, his energy definitely translates to this part of his game too. Whether you're talking about playing full court defense, picking up a guy full court and really bothering them and trying to poke the ball away from them, very good at doing that and has already shown a bit of that with their team. Or playing point of attack defense, picking up a guard and screen navigating, trying to run around with them and not making their team force a switch on defense, very good at doing that. Or even when he is switch on defense, switch onto a bigger forward or even a near center, like he was the other night against John Collins. There was one play that really stuck out to me. During the late third quarter, he got switched onto John Collins, and Collins definitely tried to take advantage of that mismatch, or what he thought would be a mismatch, trying to back down Goodwin at the free throw line, try to get inside position and likely shoot over the top of him, but Goodwin was simply having none of it, poking the ball away from him not only once but twice, eventually forcing a turnover and getting the ball away from him. And I think Collins found out pretty quick that Goodwin's not a guy to try and isolate against. He's simply a pest on defense, not a guy that you can really back down on defense or will give up on play, and a really good addition to their team's defense, not to mention their team's #1 rated defense during their past 10 games now. And no, I'm not joking about that. Goodwin's been part of it for 2 games, and if he stays out there with their team and in their rotation, that top 5 defense or even top 3 defense likely will stay going forward, especially with the combination of him, Jared Vanderbilt, and Gabe Vincent coming off the bench. And speaking of Gabe Vincent, lately he's been on a minute restriction, according to Reddit about 20 to 25 minute per game restriction, and in light of that, it's been really helpful to have Jordan Goodwin out there playing defense when Gabe Vincent cannot, or even on the court with him. They've been a pretty good combination out there, and even finishing a game for them. The other night against the Indiana Pacers, Goodwin literally finished the game for them. With Vincent on that minute restriction, he couldn't play during the late fourth quarter, and that led to Goodwin playing some big minutes to them in the fourth quarter in a very big win and important win, minus Luka Doncic and LeBron James. So whether you're talking about defense or rebounding, Goodwin gives them value and a ton of energy in that regard. But then even offensively, the guys have been playing great for their team. I mean, probably don't expect the 13.5 points per game to remain that way. Probably will regress some, albeit I hope it doesn't, but probably a bit unrealistic to remain that way. Even with that though, great shooting so far. Shooting very well from the field and 3-point line. Currently 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. Probably don't expect that to remain that way, but filling a role really nicely for their team both on the ball and off the ball. Bringing the ball up the court for them, initiating their offense, finding the open man within their offense, doing some playmaking for their team but playing off the ball quite a bit more, which really is a good fit for him, leading to those offensive rebounds and timely backdoor cuts, both of which he has shown plenty of, and all around being a good fit for their offense, whether it be on the ball or off the ball. Definitely knowing their offense and knowing their playbook, being very reflective of Redick wanting their playbook to reflect their G League playbook, showing the transition between them and the seamless fit between them. That's helped Jordan Goodwin, helped their team in light of that, and all around has really been a good fit for their team again, and maybe slowly but surely kind of becoming a secret weapon for them off the bench. But with that being said, what do you guys think? How have you felt about Jordan Goodwin so far, and what do you think they should do with him on their roster going forward? Should they waive somebody for him, convert him to a standard contract, or what do you think they should do with him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.